Just a word about first-time homebuyers school too. It is a wonderful opportunity. If you know somebody who is about to buy their first home, there's a day-long class that certifies students to get up to $15,000 down payer assistance. And that's how we know Jeff. Jeff is a premier home inspector. And I told him if I didn't get a bio, we'd make stuff up, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna let Jeff tell you more about what he does. And
Wasn't he a Chippendale dancer down in New Orleans?
I told you, Jeff, we'll make stuff up.
Jeff, show us that dance move you did down in New Orleans.
Just a little bit more about the first-time homebuyer school, since we have a moment or two. It was started by a wonderful man who has since passed away, Tim Bolden, but they have put first-time homebuyers, impoverished people, into homes, and in many times it's the first time there's ever been a homeowner in their family tree. I believe the class is free or almost free. They're fed lunch. Troy and I always bring homemade chocolate chip cookies for the insurance portion we teach, and then Jeff teaches about home inspections. But if you do know somebody that's looking to buy their first home, you do have to fit in a certain financial category, but it is such a gift that Memphis can give back to our first-time homebuyers. So Jeff, other than Troy's Chippendale reference, we didn't talk a whole lot about you personally.
He's a little more fully clothed than I normally see him down there when he stands.
There's a big difference to when you're crawling into houses and in attics.
Oh, by the way, if you haven't dropped your business card, Jeff has been very generous with a $25 restaurant gift certificate.
Woo!
So everybody get your card.
All right, good morning, everyone. And I want to say I apologize for being here so late. Actually, I went to 2095 Exeter, I think it was where I used to meet once before. And I left there and I went to Appling Farm. And that's when Lynn called me and said, hey, you're at the wrong location, come on down. So I'm here. Talk to you today about home inspections, what we do. What I do is a home inspector. And I'll kind of show you some pointers, things around the house that you want to pay attention to make sure that everything is in working order for you as you go forth within your home. All right, first thing we're going to look at here.
Yeah, the first one.
That's not gonna work.
I got it.
Okay. All right, first thing you want to look at here is going to be the, if I can get this working. Well, I guess the pointer doesn't work on the screen. Basic information is one of the refrigerant lines around the outside of the AC unit. You want to make sure that those lines are covered up, as you can probably see here where the arrows are, is partially covered. And it's going to cause some energy loss and some condensation loss there too as well. So when you're inside your home and you're asking for 68, 70 degrees of temperature, those are some of the things that's going to impede for you getting to that location or to that desired temperature that you're looking for. So you want to make sure that those lines are covered up. Again, that installation is going to probably cost you about $5, $6, and you get about 6 feet of it too as well. So that's the biggest thing that we want to take a look at there. Another thing you want to take a look at on the outside unit is going to be the condenser unit too as well. As you can see, there's a lot of trash in between that unit there, and the problem there is it's going to be hard for that unit to produce cool air on the inside to operate as it should. Now it's going to be starving for air because again, your fans are all covered up with dust and dirt. So when you're in the office or you're at some other location and you're not at home and you're a yard person is cutting your yard, they're not going to call you and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, turn the unit off so I can cut the grass. They're going to cut that grass, and as they blow it, if the unit is on, it's going to suck right into the side of that unit there too as well.
Jeff, can you take, I've got this little hose that has a real hard spray. Can I take that to that without harming the air conditioner?
You could, Troy, but the problem that you're going to have there is the pressure.
Oh.
If that pressure is too hard, you can bend those fans. It's very delicate with those fans. And sometimes I see units where they run in the lawnmower, they bump up to the unit and it bend the fans in there. So again, same principle. Once it's clogged up, it's going to be somewhat hard for that unit to operate like as it should. Now you want to make sure when you put your filters into the unit that the filter goes in. There's an arrow on this particular. I apologize because I could operate this presentation a lot better in my way myself. Slide back to the other picture. Forward.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. On your filters, you have an arrow that says airflow. Now, there's a particular way, slide back for me, please. there's a way that the filters are supposed to be placed into the unit by means of the biggest part of the unit. That's where you want to make sure that the arrow is pointing toward that. Some filters have a braided side on the back side, some has non-braided side too as well. And that helps catch a lot of the trash and dirt that's come from down below, from the envelope. So we definitely want to make sure of that too as well. Okay, past there. Again, some filters are placed in. As you can see, this filter has been sitting into a unit and it's been sitting there for a long period of time and accumulated a lot of trash as a result of that too as well. All right, we're going to inspect the garage and all the components within the garage. The couple of service items that we want to make sure: the service door and what we call the GFCI. The GFCI is a device that goes into your electrical as far as your plumbing, the bathrooms and the kitchen, and sometime on the exterior of the home too as well. So we want to make sure that those lights, sensors are working there in the garage too as well. At the back of the garage, you have two sensor lights that talk to each other. And when they talk to each other, we want to make sure that if someone walks up under that garage door, that the garage door raises back up like it's supposed to. There. All right, on the plumbing side, this is what we call a P-trap. The P-trap holds water here, and it keeps those fumes and waste from coming back up into your home. So if you ever stand over a sink and you smell something horrible coming back up, thanks, Troy. You smell something horrible that's coming back up, more than likely, it's going to probably be that P-trap, which means that the water has subsided down below the point of the trap, and it's the fumes and everything is coming back up. Here on the top side, we want to put a leg on each side of that. We want to try to move that toilet to see if it moves at any point in time. And if it is, more than likely, you have some anchor bolts on the back side that is gone bad or need to be tightened up to keep that toilet from moving around. All right, all rooms within the home, we're going to take a look at it to make sure that everything's working fine. A couple of pointers I want to point out. This will be the front side of the house, the right side, the left side. It will be like the upper front center. So we're going to point those locations out to let you know what's going on within the home and what needs to be repaired with that particular location and point. All right, on the electrical side, what we have here is this has obviously been modified by probably the homeowner or somebody that's not a fully electrician. So we want to make sure we find this panel, pull it off, look behind it to make sure that there's no surprises there. Because I don't want to plug my tester into a electrical. I want to find out that it's going to probably pop or electrocute me because it got too much power coming into that particular home. All right, GFCIs. Again, recommendation in the bathrooms, in the kitchen, on the exterior of your home. Want to make sure these devices in there. Primary is when someone is doing a hair, like a sink full of water, and they have a blow dryer or curling iron set on the side. If they drop that sink or curling irons or blow dryer into the water, the first thing we're going to react to back in the day would be to try to reach in there real fast because we think we're faster than lightning. And we want to make sure we get that device out. But there'll be electrocution that's going to be going on at that point in time. But with this device here, it'll help save lives. So as soon as it hit the water, just like that, the power's going to shut off and there will be no electrocution. Yes.
I had a question. When you were talking about the electrical system, we know in Midtown there's a lot of homes with knob and tube. Those get sold, so do you report, is that against city code or is it just fine to have knob and tube?
Well, it's not fine. We want to make sure we report that knob and tube wiring is in fact inside the homing at that point in time. But it's rare that we're going to see it. Some of them may be old. They may have been replaced with Romex wiring too as well. So as an inspector, we pull that cover off. We want to look and see what's going on and to have the type of wiring that's coming out of the electrical panel. Because again, it may have been modified by an electrician. But the knob and tube is pretty much outdated. It could cause some problems, fires, things of that nature there too as well.
So if, I've had customers say, well, I only have knob and tube in one part of my house. Do you inspect the house thoroughly enough into every room where you go, oh, here's some knob and tube?
No, we're probably going to look behind the electrical panel for what type of wiring is in the home. And if we are unconcerned or have a concern about it, then we're going to pull a plate off the wall and see what type of wiring is behind that plate, the electrical plate. And that kind of gives us a clue as there's a knob and tube that's still running through the house, and they may have modified some of the home, but we want to make sure that the home is properly or without knob and tube if it's there. That's the biggest thing we see. And a lot of times we see that in the attics and of course sometimes in the crawl space. Depends on how they have the wiring running as well. Hey, Pat.
Hey, how are you?
You?
If a house does not have any of the GFCI outlets, like built before they were kind of lifted in, how difficult is it to put them in just in the places that they need to be? Say,
Well,
for
it's not
whatever.
really that bad. Primarily what you have, when you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, they have what they call a contractor's pack. It's about 3 GFCIs that you can purchase, roughly $15, $20. Finding someone that knows how to connect them will be the biggest issue. Now, the price is going to come in with the electrician, because if you have a handyman that knows how to do it, he's going to probably be a little cheaper than the electrician that you purchase, you actually come out and do it. So it's really inexpensive, but again, it depends on the person that you have to come in to do it, that type of work. An example, in your kitchen, you can have 1 GFCI in the kitchen, and it can control pretty much all the receptacles within the home. Now, if it's on the same side where the plumbing is, so within 6 feet of water, then we do require or request that those the devices be installed. Again, let's keep from the electrocution and the dangers, damage to anybody that want to deal with electric and water at the same time if those devices are not there. So yeah, it's pretty easy.
Do you know what year the code started requiring that?
I want to say maybe 80s. It's when it came out there, but I'm not truly really. That was back in class days, and because a lot of that I don't remember too much, so I apologize. But I'd be more than happy to take a look at it and find out and let you know.
Thank you.
Detroit.
Yeah, I was gonna have just 2 questions. One on the outside receptacles, I noticed that you can change those out. We had one change, didn't we, sweetie, out there, and the other 2 have not been changed.
Okay.
Where they have the cover on them, but you said these covers are now, they don't make them anymore, they don't have, we gotta update.
The weather covers?
Yeah, outside, on the outside
Mhm.
for electro outlet.
Well, they do have the weather covers for the
Yeah,
outside
the
unit.
new one
Yeah.
does.
A
It's
new one
new
has,
plastic.
yeah,
Right.
new plastic, yeah.
Right.
But the second one is, sometimes we get lots of things going in our bathroom with the hair dryer and the heater and the fan and all the other things. Sometimes we get them going in there, and I noticed that there's a little dimming of the light when we have all 3 of them going. Is that an electrical problem, or is that
That
just?
is. It is electric. It's a shortage of problem within the wiring system, so that would need to be, of course, attended to by an electrician. So usually what I would do is just, with my tester, it'll let me know that there's a electrical issue going on behind that electrical receptacle, and we want to make sure that we get someone out there to take a look at it. So, but what exactly the problem is, I couldn't really say, but again, the electrician will need to be called in so he can take a look at it and see what's going on there.
It handles 2 okay, Jeff, but once we took that 3rd one on, then the light goes on.
Okay.
What did Pat say?
All right, we're gonna take a look at all the appliances within the home. I'm sorry, we're gonna take a look at all the appliances within the home and make sure that everything is operating, microwave, the refrigerator, on the range and ovens, whether it be electric or gas. We're gonna operate all those devices and make sure they're operating. Up on the roof, a couple things here. This is flashing. Those devices that sticks out are called flues. So what you wanna do is make sure that it doesn't lift up like this. It should lay down flat as the one in the center is. And when it's lifted up, that's potential for water to get inside your home. Stains on your ceiling is what you would show there as a result of that.
Wow.
All right, you got some roofing here. Well, this one on the right side is pretty much GONE. And but the worst part about that is the house had a new roof put on, but the carport did not. So when I inspected it, I took the photo and then recommend that the house also, where the carport, have the new roofing. On the left side over here, there's some shingles that's been displaced. A lot of times the storms gonna come in from the west and also from the south for us. It's rare that we get them from the north and east, but we do get them, but primarily from the west side. So you'll see a lot of damage on your home from those sides of the home. So as soon as it happens, you may want to call your insurance agent as soon as possible, because if you wait and give them a call later on, it could be old damage and it can cost you, or your premium could go increase as a result of that too as well. Okay, on foundations and slab, and of course this is a slab that we're sitting on here. And again, we want to make sure we look for cracks and things of that nature, significant cracks. If it's over an inch, then that could be probably structure related. So we want to make sure that if there's little small stress cracks, then that's not a big issue with those cracks. So you'll see those as you go through the home. All right, got a couple items here. Here in particular, this is on the crawl spaces in the Midtown area. There's a car jack there that's jacking up the floor there. So we see it all. Again, there's a column in the back here. There was a column there. The column apparently got damaged, disintegrated, probably the mortar or something in between it, and damaged. And you can see that it's looking all down here on the bottom sides there too as well. So we wanna make sure that we get up on the crawl space, and we take a look at the plumbing, you got the P-traps there, any electrical that's running there too as well. We wanna identify that, let you know whether it's knob or tube, what type of wiring that you have going up under the house there.
Jeff, you ever run into some unusual animals while you're underneath?
Oh,
that
yeah, that's
roof?
right. I didn't put that photo on here, but I was up in Atoka, Tennessee, and I had a crawl space. The issue that I had was when I went into the bedroom, the master bedroom, it was extremely hot. The air conditioner was running in all the part of the home. So I knew something was going on up under the house, and I had to crawl up under there. So I put my suit on, I get up under there, I take a photo. The vent, the duct that was up under there had poured down, and it had disconnected it from the home altogether. I took the picture, and something said, look down to the right. After I took the picture, I looked at the picture, and I looked down to the right, and then I looked down to my right, and I saw a snake skin about that big. So I couldn't
How long did
get
it
out
take
of
you to
there
get out of that?
fast enough. Well, the problem there was I had a headlamp on my head, and the insulation up under the house was leaning down, it was damaged. I reported that out. But the headlamp was hit by the insulation as I was coming out, and I went back to I looked back at the headlamp, it was about that close to me, and all I had to do was reach forward. But it has that vision of moving away from me, so I said, it's probably been under here too long, so let me just get out of here. So I left the headlamp there, and the guy that was gonna do the work called me, and I told him, I said, hey, look, you're gonna find a headlamp up under there. You don't have to worry about calling me back and giving it back to me, because I don't want it. I'm gonna buy me another when I get to it. So yeah, this installation here is up in the attic. There's foam insulation, it's the newest that's on the market. Of course, it really helps insulate the home, especially it keeps your AC unit and furnace unit from operating or for long periods of time when it's not needed. Visual inspections, walls, floors, windows, and doors. We're gonna take a look at all that and make sure that they operate for you too as well. All right, this is what we call thermoplane. These are windows in your home. You have one on the outside, one on the inside of the home. And these thermoplane windows, they get condensation. They're actually filled up with argon gas. And when the gas seeps out because of the seals are broken or open up, then it causes moisture to get inside your window. Over time, you'll be able to just imagine what this used to look like as far as the picture on the outside, and now you really can't see too much of anything that's going on there. So we want to make sure that those are identified. They can be very expensive. I'm hearing anywhere from $300 to $800 just to repair the window, but to replace it. To repair it, you may be looking at anywhere about $125 to $200 to replace it.
Would that house pass inspection, or is that just a note that you'd make about the window?
We'll make a note about the window, so it's not for us to say yes and no, the home is passing inspection. We're just gonna provide the tenant or the client with all the information that they would need to make that decision whether they wanna go forward with the purchase of their home. All standards, according to the state of Tennessee, we have to take those, we have to be certified by the state, we have to take a license, test for the license, the state of Tennessee also. And pretty much what you're looking at around town, 1,500 square feet home is gonna range about 200. 3,000 square feet is gonna be about 300 to 340. Basements across base anywhere from $60 to $90. And then of course, photos, we're gonna take photos as much as we possibly can of everything within the home. And of course, scheduling is 9, 12, 3, and during the summertime hours around 5 o'clock too as well.
Yeah, on that basement crawl space, if there's a snake skin underneath there, would the price go up?
Well, no, my blood pressure does, but the price doesn't go up, so no, it's still the same. We generate the reports within, I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
Okay, generate the reports within 24 hours, and payment types and check, cash, money order, and debit card. And of course, re-inspection means that I'm coming back out to check the items that I found to be in need of a repair or replacement on the front end. Keep in mind, if there are 50, 60 items on there that need to be replaced, the sellers may only do 5 or 10 of them, and you actually need to come back and do those 5 or 10. Okay.
Go ahead.
So, okay, I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate because we really had some bad luck with one of the houses we bought, and ended up, there were so many things wrong with it, and we had an inspection. So, and basically we went back to the inspector, and he was like, sorry, not with your company, by the way. And so, two things. One, there's no real legal recourse, right, from a homeowner to an inspector if an inspector missed a bunch of things, correct?
I believe the state is working on the state is working on something to try to help out the clients in this situation. And I think we're going to be held liable for, I think it's about a year or two, like the builders are. I think the builders are held liable for whatever may be going down for a couple of years. So they're trying to put us in the same bucket with that. So there's something coming down the line, but right now, no, pretty much. Now, you should have a home inspection agreement. The agreement's gonna tell you pretty much what you have, and most of that's gonna probably be 6 months, what you may have.
All the little fine print, I mean, you know, we went back, like I said, the guy that did it must have really not done it, because we had so many things go wrong with that house as soon as we moved in. And we were like, how do you miss this? And so we're trying to get, we paid a lot of money for the inspection and, whatever, and we're like, and we were a young couple, young kids, so we were like, how are we gonna fix all this? But,
Right.
you gotta do it. I mean, to a point where literally we had to jack up our, the foundation, there was like a huge crack, and we had to, and that was, so I was just trying to figure out, because I know obviously you guys do a real service, if you do it right, you're doing a real service to the people that are buying a house, because you know what's under there. But in our situation, it was like, we had no recourse, and so it was really frustrating, but anyway. So.
Right, and I understand that, but a lot of times as an inspector, even with myself or my company, if I go into a home, I can't tell you what's gonna happen
Right.
as soon as you walk out the next day, next week, or whatever. But in most cases, we try to pinpoint, try to make sure we operate those items in there for a long period of time, like the whirlpool or the showers. So we wanna make sure we get in a drainage issue that may come up, because it takes water for a little while, once you feel that drained up, for it to show itself to back up, things of that nature.
Obviously,
So.
this guy wasn't doing a good job, so ask your friends. Obviously, I would have asked y'all, and you would have recommended him, and he probably would have done a much better job. So,
There you go.
Anyway.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
This is kind of a Joe, your question, Jeff. We know with a home appraiser that Joe has no power. It is a rotation. How about inspectors? Can you pick an inspector? And that being said, you're ethical, but are there cases where an inspector goes, oh yeah, pay me an extra 100 and it'll pass inspection? Are there people like that out there? Oh, Pat has
Well, Pat may have dealt with those. I don't hear those type of
First of all, I'd like
stories.
to say Jeff has inspected
Yeah.
a number of houses that I've had clients buy, and he does an exceptionally good job.
Thank you, Pat.
And he's very reasonable and honorable, and he's nice to my clients. Everybody's not, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah.
Typically, to answer your question, there is no pass or fail on a home inspection. It's a matter of giving the information to the buyers, and the buyers deciding what they want to ask the sellers to do, what they can live with, what they're willing to live with in order to not mess up the contract. What the sellers are willing to do to not mess up the contract. But also, home inspectors aren't perfect, they do miss things. The good ones don't miss the big things. They can't look behind walls or behind, they don't move furniture.
We can.
Okay.
Infrared cameras now will allow us to look behind walls, but it's just a matter of being trained and getting into that process. Now, that may increase the inspection fee because of that, more than anything else. So, but yeah, we are right now able to check to see if there's cold spots, whatever's going on, if it's leaking, things of that nature with the infrared
But
cameras.
typically, most really good agents will
Yeah.
give their clients a couple of 3 names,
Correct.
say, here's some inspectors, why don't you call them and see who you like.
Can't you typically buy a homeowner's warranty policy for a year or so to cover major things like that?
A lot of times the sellers will buy that, it doesn't cover everything, but it does cover a lot. But a buyer can purchase it if they choose to, if the seller's not going to.
And the majority of the biggest items in your home, your roofing, the heating, air, things of that nature. So I think I got a few seconds.
I got a question, man. You probably can answer one of these two, right? One of my friends is currently looking for a house, and his bank rejected the loan based on the house inspector. Is that common?
Only if the home inspection is mentioned in the contract. Otherwise, we don't want the home inspection because it can cause problems in underwriting. But if the contract calls for an inspection, a lot of times, we'll have to have it in there.
He's a VA loan, so I was kind of surprised that it rejected it.
Was it a home inspection or an appraiser?
He did a home inspection,
Uh-huh.
and the VA loan said it was due to damage on the property. I don't think you can maintain the property and
Okay.
foreclose on it.
I know
There was
definitely
some
the
foreclosure.
appraiser mentions it.
Huh?
I bet that was the appraisal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if the appraiser mentioned it, it's absolute. If the home inspector mentions it, it really depends on if that particular thing is itemized from the inspection on the contract.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, well, thank you for your time.
Your knight in shining armor.
What a tagline, what a tagline.